Welcome to another edition of the Talking Heels podcast, powered to you by Keeping a Heel and Delahanty Media. I'm your host, Nick Delahanty, and for a second consecutive week, we have a special guest on the show. That guest is none other than five-star recent commit of the UNC women's basketball program, Taliyah Henderson. Taliyah, thank you for joining us. How's everything?
It's good. Thank you for allowing me to be on here. I'm super excited.
We are just as excited to not only have you on the show, but to have you coming to Carolina and to Chapel Hill next summer. Now, there's so much that I want to talk to you about in regards to your recruitment. We'll talk a little bit about Coach Banghart in a little bit, but I kind of want to start from the beginning because what might be a shock to my viewers, I'm not a five-star basketball talent like you are. So let me ask you, at what point did you realize that, hey, basketball is something that I'm really good at and I want to pursue further?
Yeah, well, kind of in the beginning, I was a national track athlete. So it was not since birth. I was like, oh, I want to be basketball. I started basketball in sixth grade with my middle school team, and it took a lot, right? It was a big adjustment, but I think towards my eighth grade year, when I went to join Coach Jamal Rhodes at AZ Supreme, is when I really was like, okay, I want to do this.
So from that point, how long did it take for college coaches to realize how good you are at the sport?
I was really blessed. I got my first D1 offer after that summer season. So the summer of my seventh to eighth grade year, or like my last eighth grade summer specifically, right before became a freshman, I got my first offer, which was incredible, a blessing, and it made me more hungry, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Now, just to confirm, you played essentially that summer of basketball. It was basically new to you, and then the offer comes rolling in?
Yeah, I mean, I played with my middle school. We were very successful there. But yeah, playing out of my state, playing across the country on the East Coast, when I first fell in love with North Carolina, um, that's where it really started.
Now, of course, the recruiting world is so different for everybody. And I'm sure for you, you had a lot of different offers from various schools. When you started this process, what were you looking for in a potential school?
That's a good question. At the beginning, I I wanted to just have a big town, like a college town, but enough around it. I've grown up in Vail, Arizona. It's like 20 minutes from Tucson. Regardless, it is a super tiny town. Right? Not a lot of people, not a lot of diversity. That was a big one on my list. Now, as I got more into the recruiting process, as I got older, it was academics. I've been in college prep. I'm a college prep high school student, and my parents have just raised me to always be the student before the athlete. So that part's important to me. And I mean, North Carolina checked that box off because it's one of the top colleges in the nation for my degree and a bunch of others. Um, another thing was obviously a career plan. I have high goals and aspirations. I want to be in the WNBA. I was born in Canada, so I have the opportunity to play for Team Canada. I want to be in the Olympics. I want to represent Canada in the Olympics. That's a big one. And wherever the wind takes me, but really just getting to those two platforms have been my number one goal. And I know I have to get better every day, every year for that. So those that those two things were really the beginning, and then it kind of sprouted into like my relationships. I got the opportunity, like you said, to have many offers, right? And I realized how important it is to have relationships. My Team Canada experience actually really really enhanced that idea of relationships, being able to be comfortable being far away from home or close to home or wherever, and really making sure that you bond with the coaches. I think that was really important too.
So as you're going through this process, you had like we've said, you've had a lot of top tier programs calling for you that they wanted you to come to the program. Describe how that is. You had UConn on your list; they were one of your finalists. A guy like Gino Auriemma, Coach Courtney Banghart. What is it like them calling your phone and showing so much interest in you?
It was surreal. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, the amazing relationships I built with all these programs is life changing. I got to talk to some of the top and best coaches in college basketball history, and that in itself is a great blessing. Um, I liked Coach Banghart, so as soon as I got on the phone with her, I knew that I connected with her more than I did anybody else. Which, I mean, for the Tar Heel Nation, that's not a surprise. But for me, it was a big reason why I came to North Carolina.
So I want to touch on Coach Banghart because Carolina fans could tell you most of us would run through a wall for Courtney Banghart. That's how much she loves the school and invests into the program. What was it about her and the way that she recruited you that made you say, I want to play for her for my college career?
I think there was quite a handful of reasons. One of them was as soon as I got the offer, they recruited me hard. It was constant calls, constant reassurance, um, with like how much they wanted me, how much they saw fit. During my visit, we had an hour kind of discussion, watching film. She was able to know what I was thinking in scenarios of my certain plays, and I mean it was cool because she's like reading my mind, but it was also a good connection, right? Like I haven't even played for this coach yet. I haven't even really talked to her in person, and she's talking to me like, here's what we can fix. I know you're thinking this, but look at this other option. It was very specialized to me, and she was like, I know what we can take. We can take this film and we can make you into the player that you want to be in 4 years. We want to be WNBA. You want to play for Team Canada. And that was something that really set North Carolina apart. Like that meeting, that talk, that belief in me. And it wasn't just with the head coach, right? It was the assistant coaches. And like the more I hung out with the players, the more I could see like these coaches put so much like blood, sweat, tears, everything into their players. And I strive to have that relationship with them. I strive to be them, right? The best versions of themselves.
Absolutely. Now, take us through a typical recruiting visit. You go to Chapel Hill for a weekend. What does that weekend bring about? It's got to be a very jam packed weekend or a week whenever you're there.
Yeah, it was jam packed, but I loved every minute of it. I got to tour the facilities. I got to see some great eating places. For me, I love food. That's biased opinion, but I believe it's a hobby, like finding new restaurants and stuff. So being able to kind of see that and see all the good food places, definitely going to visit those once I'm officially a Tar Heel, once I'm over on campus. Um, in all seriousness, no, the campus was great. I got to see everything. I got to see the dorms. I got to see the other facilities. Got to see really what like the community of North Carolina is. I got to watch practice. That was great. I loved it. Um, I thought I wanted to like hop in. I had a ball in my hands, which technically, was dribbling on the side, but no, I loved it. That part was exciting. Love to see actually the future of kind of what the UNC basketball is going to look like this year. That was a good glimpse. I'm excited to see their first game now, just based on that practice. What else did we do? And I really just got to hang out and talk to the players, the coaches. It was jam packed. Yes, that's true. But every minute was information that I got, information that I received that made me fall in love with campus even more. And I want to kind of go to academics. I got to meet the academic advisor. I got to kind of talk to or like tour the place where I want to major in. I want to major in sports journalism and broadcasting. So, and that is one of the top majors at UNC. So, being able to kind of talk to the advisor about that, being able to even see it for myself. I was really excited. I almost committed on the spot. I'm not gonna lie. I had to wait. My dad left early, unfortunately, so we had to wait a little bit and yeah, kind of process everything, make sure that it wasn't just like, oh, I was on a visit, but no, that that Carolina that Carolina followed me home. So
So I got a couple of questions to follow up from that. Number one, you were on Franklin Street.
yes.
Okay, what was your favorite place to eat that you got to visit?
Ooh, that's hard. So I love Thai food. I love pot stickers. I love like that Thai cuisine is my favorite. I think we went to a Thai place and I'm so bad because I don't remember the name, but it had the best pot stickers I've ever tasted. I am excited to go back.
Listen, maybe an NLI deal is on the way. You partner up. That's a big thing in college sports now.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Maybe you'll have to do like a review of the different places on Franklin Street. Tie the journalism into it, kind of like Alyssa Usby does now with the different sports teams. You could put
Yes,
a different spin to it.
yes, I love that. It's a good idea. I'll make sure to tag you in if I do it.
As of course, it's all I ask. Just tag me. You know what? I'll share it. I'll be your biggest supporter. Now, you mentioned talking to some of the players. Were there any that you kind of got to extensively talk to see like what's the program's about?
Yeah, I got to actually talk to Alyssa Utsby. I got to talk to Blanca. Talked to Sierra. I talked to Layla. So I talked to a lot of different people in their stages of career. I talked to the freshmen that just got there. They kind of were new to everything, but they were still in the process of learning everything. And I mean, that freshman class is amazing. I'm super excited to continue to work with them and continue to develop with them. I talked to Alyssa Utsby, who's last year, and she's been through a lot of different teams. And I mean, her love for the team is so strong, and it really just like kind of solidified my idea of like this team is not only strong, it has culture, but like a journey of growth that everybody's on together for one certain goal, and that's to win a national championship. And that part is so cool, kind of to see. Right, you see a lot of different programs, especially as a recruit. You see, obviously, everybody's drive to want to win a championship, but it's kind of the people that do it together or want to do it together. Like they all ate lunch with us. Nobody ran off. Everybody was super open to asking questions. I asked a lot of questions, so I appreciate them for sticking up and answering all of them to their best of their ability. Yeah, it was a great time. That was my best and favorite visit. So
So you left Chapel Hill wanting to commit. So you end up going home and then making the commitment. When you
yes,
made the phone call to Coach Banghart, what was that? What was the energy on that phone call? Because I'm sure it was astronomically insane.
yes. I have a sense of humor, right? I think she kind of knew I was going to it just because of how much I was talking to them, how passionate I was talking about North Carolina. So I decided to mess with her, and um, so she may laugh, she may not, but I was like, yeah. So unfortunately, kind of making it seem like I wasn't gonna go, and then I was like, unfortunately for everybody else, I'm going to commit to North Carolina. And after I said for everyone else, the energy on the phone call was just amazing. It was like she made me happy. We were all smiling. My mom was videotaping. It was a good moment for me. Like I knew a few weeks prior when my club coach said, you know, like you're gonna be a Tar Heel, and because I was talking to him about it, but him saying like I'm gonna be a Tar Heel was like I know where I want to go. That moment in time was like I know, like it doesn't matter what else, like I'm gonna go here.
So now, leading into your senior year, you're currently dealing with an injury and it's going to sideline you. Now, we were talking before the show, so I do want to give a little side note there to our viewers. So it's not like they don't know what we're talking about, but tell me about your approach to your high school season, because I think it's one that needs to be said, and how you're taking the injury rehab process as you prepare to get to Chapel Hill?
Well, I I've had, this is unfortunate, right? I have torn my ACL. I have a season-ending injury, but it's not a career-ending, and I kind of keep that positive, and I know that I'm gonna come back from this 110% better, right? I fully believe in myself. I believe in the people around me, the community, my PT, my physical therapist. Though even though I annoy them sometimes, I want to work on extra things. They keep me here. They keep me ready. High school season, as much as it is a bummer not to play my senior year, I'm going to help guide, especially the younger group that is coming in, help coach them in a sense, and also just be a leader off the court. And you don't have to touch a basketball to be a leader. You don't have to be a player to know the game. I'm learning that right now. I'm actually coaching an 8th grade team. I've learned that the hard way. It's been it's been rocky, that one, but no, I'm just excited to support my fellow teammates. They've been with me for 3-4 years now, and everybody else is, I'm just excited. I know we have potential to win state, and as much as I would love to contribute on the basketball court, I'm going to find ways to do it off the basketball court as well.
So now that you're taking a little bit of a dive into coaching, what kind of coach are you? Are you one that's going to get on your players, or are you the coach that, is a motivator? Are you taking anything from Coach Banghart? What's your strategy when you're coaching these 8th graders?
See, I've had a bunch of amazing coaches in my life. My mom and my middle school coaches, Coach Jamal, AZ Supreme. I got to play at another club team, Jason Kidd with Coach Armando. Even Coach Banghart, seeing her tendencies. I'm kind of taking a little bit of everything, right? I push my players. It's really important to me that even if we're winning by 20, that you still do the right things, you still do the little things. I am positive, right? I keep positive affirmations. I am saying that you're doing great. If someone's in their head, like, I'm giving them positive kind of talk, right? Like, make sure that they're okay. But I also yell a lot. 90% positive, but other times I'll be like, "Come on, what are you doing? Like, let's go. We got this." Um, so like I said, a little bit of everything, right? I love my girls. My girls make my job really easy. They listen. They're all very coachable. They all want to know and learn basketball, and I mean that's all you can ask from a player. I'm also trying to help guide them. Like I kind of said before, we're in a small town, right? So kind of guiding them in the right direction to reach their goals. If they want to go to the next level, pointing them in that right direction. Even if they want to be good for high school basketball, I'm still open and still ready to do that. So kind of with that, I mean, I love coaching.
Is that something, I know you want to go into journalism and everything, but is coaching something that might be an option down the road?
It could be, yeah. I haven't really thought of it besides this injury. That's when I started getting into coaching. But yeah, it could be wherever the road takes me. Honestly, if it gets, I'm obviously still want to be around sports. That's my biggest thing. Sports has been my life. Sports have been my family, my community, my everything. So as long as I'm around it, I'm ready to accomplish anything.
So coming from a small town, talk to us a little bit about the possible difficulties of getting your name out there, because again, you are in a smaller area. Did you find that as a challenge as you were working toward this, or do you think that the smaller community benefited you in ways?
I think I had both. Um, Arizona is not one known for making a bunch of D1 athletes. Um, I'm what people say a one percenter. I was told a lot of my life that I was not going to be able to get out of Arizona. I was not going to be able to go D1. And that is a disadvantage of being in a small town, especially one that's not necessarily known for basketball. Um, but I feel like the basketball's changing, and you can go out and seek your own opportunity to go to the next level or whatever you want to do. And I think that's really important, and it's a new part. Like 20 years ago, that wasn't an option, right? It was all high school, and that now that it's here, and now that club is here, and now that traveling basketball is a thing, it's easier, right? But the principles still stay the same. You still have to work hard. You still have to get in the gym. You still have to be in front of college coaches. You still have to contact college coaches. You still have to do the little things. But I like to say it is easier. But with the community of a small town, you have Tucson or Vail or wherever you are behind you. I got stopped actually after one of the games I coached, and someone congratulated me on committing to University of North Carolina and said that Tucson's behind me. Like that aspect of community is something that I'm excited to see at Carolina too.
And to kind of circle in on that too, we've seen so much recently of the involvement and the evolution of women's basketball as a whole. You see headlines now of women's basketball being covered on ESPN and record crowds. And now it's for somebody in your shoes, 5-star recruit, top 25 prospect in the country. Do you feel as if you are helping build that to even higher lengths and higher levels as time goes on?
Of course, you always want to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself. And I have the opportunity to do that. I have the opportunity to use my voice, whether it's on the basketball court, whether it's a social media profile, or whether it's just me being me right now. Yeah, I'm super excited to kind of go into that and be, as a college athlete, bring awareness and a special part of me to the game.
So for Carolina fans that haven't watched your film, and I've watched film, I'm very impressed with what I've seen. I'm very excited to have you. Describe your game in your words. How would you describe yourself on a basketball court?
If I were to use one word, I'd like to think I'm versatile. I have the ability, because I was a track athlete. I have speed, so I'm able to beat slower players or players off the bounce. I have strength from my lovely strength coach, and I've been strength training since I was in middle school. So I have that strength. So if there's someone smaller than me, I'm able to use my muscle, my strength in the paint. I'm able to shoot a shot. I was really working on that before I got hurt, a more consistent shot, so that I may be able to kind of use everything where the defender that's guarding me won't know what to do. Yeah, I think that's that's one way to kind of describe it. But honestly, I'm here on offense and defense to do whatever Coach Banghart wants me to do. If she wants me to guard a point guard, I'm ready for it. If she wants me to guard someone that's 6'8", I mean, I've done it before. Bring it on. Like I said, whatever she needs, I'm gonna bring my 110% effort and defense, offense on for a game plan for sure.
So are we going to see you running the point? Because if you're willing to block anybody on defense, you got to be willing to run the point a little bit. We did see Alyssa Utsby run the point a little bit last year.
Yes, and she did an absolutely great job. I'm, like I said, kind of wherever she wants me to go, I'm willing to do it. So if it's point guard, absolutely. Whether, and although there are some very tall players on UNC, so I don't know how well I would be doing in the paint. But like I said, wherever she wants me.
That's a great answer. Now, I want Carolina fans to get to know you a little bit more before I wrap things up here. So I'm going to hit you with some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Yes, bring it. I'm ready.
All right. What's your favorite color?
Green.
All right. I was gonna say if it was anything resembling Duke colors, probably not a good answer, but that's a good answer. I could take that.
I don't like Duke.
Carolina fans are gonna love to hear you say that. Now, do you have any pregame superstitions?
Yes. I always drink a blue Gatorade and eat some kind of sweet, whether it's a cookie or Gushers. Gushers were my big thing this summer. But I need to have like a sweet treat and Gatorade right before I play.
So we're gonna have to make sure the locker room is prepared for that.
Yes, a little bit of candy, a little bit of. My locker is probably going to be stocked with blue Gatorade.
That's a great choice, though. Blue is arguably the best flavor of Gatorade, so you have a great choice there. Now, on the music side, what kind of music you listen to?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Pre-game, I'm gonna have to say rap, like Glorilla. I like a little bit of Eminem, depending on the game. Um, but pre-game, I'm listening to R&B.
Nice and mellow. Now, if you had one song on your playlist before a game, a song that always comes on, what's that song?
Lose Yourself by Eminem.
See, I'm liking this already. That's a great choice. That's a great choice. What other hobbies or hidden talents do you have?
Hobbies, I like to bake, I like to sketch. Hidden talent, I can name any quote from a movie that I've watched.
Really?
Yeah, I have photographic memory when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Wow. Okay, so sidetracking here, what's your favorite movie?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I'm gonna have to say Princess and the Frog.
Okay, so give us a quote from Princess and the Frog.
When Prince Naveem said, "It is not slime, it's mucus."
That's a good one. I like it. Now, are you into like binge watching shows?
Not necessarily, no. When I am playing, and even now with PT and weight training and trying to get stronger, I don't have time. But if I have a break, or when we're watching watching TV, eating dinner, that's when I do my show watching and movie watching.
So, what's your favorite show?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I don't think I have one. An unpopular opinion, hot take. I don't have a favorite one.
If if they made a movie about you, who would you want to play you in that movie?
Oof, that'd be hard. I'd probably make it like Candace Parker. I love Candace Parker. She's
Now, that's your favorite basketball player?
yes.
Would you what basketball player would you say you model your game after? Would it be Candace still?
Mm, it would actually be Diamond Miller. I actually stole a lot of my moves from her. Kind of watching her play at Maryland, especially. That was when I first really started getting into basketball, and kind of seeing her do a spin move. I'd pause the TV, pause the game, do it a few times, and then go back to sitting to watching with it. So I think my game resembles her and her versatility for sure.
So, have you met any athletes or celebrities that you were just starstruck by when you met them?
Um, that's a hard one. I actually got to meet Kobe. I didn't take a picture. I got to ask him a question. He was in Phoenix, which is 2 hours from Arizona, for a basketball tournament, and kind of just seeing him was awesome. I for the longest time I was listening. Even now, when I get bummed, or I've had a rough streak of games, I'll go listen to his podcast on like his work ethic and everything, kind of just to motivate me. But seeing him in person was super cool. I got even seeing college coaches, right? The people you watch on TV coach these amazing players and have these amazing programs. That's also cool too.
While you were touring the country, with all your different offers, were there any college players of recent that when you met them, you were just like, okay, I've watched them on TV. I really love their game.
Actually, Alyssa Utsby from North Carolina. I A few years back in March Madness, they played the U of A, and I got to see North Carolina in my hometown, and that was exciting. I loved how she played. I loved how she like went for every ball, how hard she worked, and I mean she was a younger player and she's developed so much. But just seeing that on the court, it's like that could be me one day. Like I could be playing in a college stadium with tons of fans around me, yeah, that it's a full circle in that part. I think I mentioned that to her when I was on there. I was like, I watched you when I was when I was little at you in the University of Arizona.
Listen, Alyssa Utsby's a friend of the pod. She was a previous guest. So, I think that you're just going to follow the trend of being the next, UNC star. I'm just going to put it in words. So in 4 years, you could look back and be like, he called it. Just like your journalism, your videos with on Franklin Street, maybe I'll play
Yeah.
some kind of role in that. Call it before it happens, like type of future type of situation there. But my last question for you.
Yes.
What can UNC women's basketball fans expect from you once you arrive on campus?
That's a good question. But definitely first of all, my 100% effort, intensity, and hard work. They'll get that. And also kind of just giving back to the community. Like we kind of mentioned before, I'm a small town girl, right? So I love giving back to my community, love helping them out. So whatever that's for in North Carolina, I mean, I'm here for it, whether it's staying late to say hi to fans, whether it's staying or going to go do a camp for kids or doing donations or charity work, like whatever it needs to be. I mean, for me, as long as I give back, I feel like that's my bucket's filled, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And just from getting the chance to talk to you, I know that once you arrive on campus, you're going to make an immediate impact for Courtney Banghart and the UNC women's basketball team. Once again, this is Taliyah Henderson. Remember this name, Carolina fans. You're going to be hearing from her in the very near future. Taliyah, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you the best of luck as you wrap up your senior year, and we can't wait for you to make your way to Chapel Hill.
Yes. Thanks again for having me. Super excited to step foot on campus again.